Welcome to Concept Craft. We are presenting step-by-step videos training to crack your certification exam, so you can gain the confidence to take on any accounting challenge. Now let's begin our today's lesson. Preparing and filing 1099 forms. Learning outcomes. In this lesson, we'll cover preparing and filing forms 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC in QuickBooks Online. Topics: common questions about 1099s, the 1099 wizard in QuickBooks Online, 1099 filing FAQs, keeping the IRS informed. If a client pays an unincorporated business $600 or more in a calendar year for services provided, they must report the payments to the IRS. They also have to report other types of payments, such as rent or medical care. These payments are reported using Form 1099. There are multiple versions of this form, but the ones that clients use most often are Forms 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC. However, clients aren't always sure which version to use, how to complete them correctly, or what to do with the forms afterward. How can you and QuickBooks Online help? QuickBooks Online and Simple Start, Essentials, Plus, and Advanced subscription levels all have a 1099 wizard to help you and your client prepare these forms. With this wizard, your expertise, and QuickBooks Online's library of knowledge and support, you can help your clients correctly prepare, issue, and file 1099 forms. Let's take a closer look. Common questions about 1099s. Here are some frequently asked questions relating to 1099s. Select the questions to see the answers. What are 1099s? 1099s are informational returns used to report certain types of non-employment income to the IRS. There are 20 different types of Form 1099 for reporting things like interest, dividends, rents, payment for services rendered, and much more. QuickBooks Online will help you and your clients fill out two commonly used 1099 forms, 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC. 1099 NEC. Clients should use this form to report payments they made to unincorporated businesses for services rendered. Part-time workers and freelancers are considered unincorporated businesses, but employees are not. Employee earnings should be reported on Form W-2. 1099 MISC. Clients should use this form to report payments such as rent, royalties, prizes, and awards. How do I know who I should issue a 1099 to? When should a client issue a Form 1099 NEC? If your client pays $600 or more to any unincorporated business during the year for services rendered, they will need to send that business a Form 1099 NEC. The form serves two purposes. It allows your client to report payment information to the IRS and enables the unincorporated business, i.e., the contractor, to do their taxes. What about Form 1099 MISC? Form 1099 MISC is used for other payments made to unincorporated businesses. For example, small businesses often need to file Form 1099 MISC because they paid $600 or more in rent. For more information on when a client should file a 1099 MISC, use this guidance from the IRS. How do I indicate that a contractor should receive a 1099? QuickBooks Online treats contractors as vendors. When a vendor is added to the Contractor Center, they're automatically added to the Vendor Center and marked eligible for a Form 1099. If your client adds a vendor to the Vendor Center, then marks them eligible for 1099, the vendor will also appear in the Contractor Center. To mark a vendor eligible for 1099, check the Track Payments for 1099 box in the Additional Info section when editing the vendor. The vendor is now added to the contractor list. In either case, QuickBooks Online provides the option to email the contractor a link to populate their details. This is the best way to ensure that you get accurate data from contractors. How does QuickBooks Online know which accounts to pull payments from? The client needs to identify which accounts to pull information from to complete 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC forms. Clients should review any transactions related to the 1099 vendors before preparing 1099 forms. This helps ensure they post the transactions to the correct accounts. They then need to report money paid to freelancers, independent contractors, and gig workers on Form 1099 NEC. clients can still use Form 1099 MIS to report other payments, such as rents, royalties, and gross proceeds to an attorney. Should all payments, for the selected accounts, be included on the 1099? No, your client shouldn't include all payments on Form 1099 NEC or 1099 MISC. These two 1099s should include cash, or cash equivalents, checks, and EFT, electronic fund transfer, payments. However, credit card, PayPal, and debit card payments are reported on a 1099-K instead. Financial institutions issue this form, so your client shouldn't report these payments on their 1099 NEC or 1099 MISC. Otherwise, these forms will be incorrect. Clients need to know how to indicate which payments should be included in or excluded from the 1099 MISC and 1099 NEC forms. If the payments were made by credit card, QuickBooks Online will note to exclude them. However, if the payments came from bank accounts, what the client puts in the reference field is important. For more information, read this article on what payments are excluded from a 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC. How can I see what clients paid their contractors? You and your client can see what they paid their contractors by running 1099 reports. You can find these reports by searching for 1099 in the Reports Center. Pro Advisor Tip. For more information about Forms 1099 MISC and 1099 NEC, see the following pages of the IRS website. About Form 1099 NEC, Non-Employee Compensation. About Form 1099 MISC, Miscellaneous Income. Instructions for Forms 1099 MISC and 1099 NEC, 2021. The 1099 Wizard in QuickBooks Online. Let's look at how QuickBooks Online helps your client create and file Forms 1099 MISC and 1099 NEC. You'll see how QuickBooks Online can help you organize your contractors and payments so your filings are correct and ready to e-file or print. Go to the Payroll menu and select Contractors. Select Prepare 1099s, and then continue your 1099s. Ensure your company name, address, and tax ID are correct and match what you have on tax notices or letters from the IRS. Then select Next. In the next section, select the boxes that represent the type of payments that you need to report in a 1099 NEC or a 1099 MISC for each box. Choose the accounts from which QuickBooks Online needs to pull the payments. Most businesses will choose non-employee compensation, Form 1099 NEC, but may also have payments to report on a 1099 MISC. Important: you can't choose the same account for more than one box on a 1099 form. For example, if rents and services post to the same account, you'll need to split them into different accounts. To do this, you can edit the original transactions or make a journal entry. Select Next. Next, verify that all your contractors that should receive 1099s are shown and their address, tax ID, and email address are correct. If you're missing a contractor, select Add from Vendor List and select any additional 1099 contractors from your QuickBooks Online vendor list. Then select Next. Review the payment totals for each box selected in Step 4. QuickBooks Online will then separate the payments between the 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC forms automatically. Note: you should only see payments made by cash, or cash equivalents, check, or EFT. There may be payments under the excluded column. Payments made to a financial institution, such as a credit card company, are reported by that financial institution on a Form 1099-K. You can see a report for included and excluded payments by selecting the column's dollar amount. It is a hyperlink. Select Finish preparing 1099s. The next screen confirms that the 1099s are ready to file. Select e-file for me to e-file your 1099s. To print and mail the forms yourself, select Print and Mail. 1099 Filing FAQs. Here are the most common questions relating to 1099 filing. Select the questions to find out more. When should I file 1099s? The deadline for your clients to send 1099s to contractors and the IRS is usually January 31st. However, they should check their state's requirements for filing 1099s. The QuickBooks Online 1099 Wizard and the Intuit 1099 e-file service are available in the period leading up to this filing deadline. So, if you or your client opens the Wizard and sees the message saying, "You can begin preparing your 1099s for the tax year soon," it means the period for tax preparation hasn't started yet. The wizard will tell you when you can begin preparing your forms 1099 MISC and 1099 NEC and when e-filing becomes available. Once you've finished preparing the 1099s, you can file them. You can do this either by using Intuit's 1099 e-file service or by printing and mailing the forms. The e-file service automatically sends copies of the form to the contractor and the IRS. How do I submit a correction? Your client will need to work directly with the IRS to make a manual amendment to their 1099s. For more information, see this article on how to correct or change 1099s in QuickBooks Online. Once the client has corrected the form, they'll need to return it to the contractor. Can I access archived or previously filed 1099s? Yes, you can. If you e-filed the 1099s in QuickBooks Online, you can access them from January 1st until April 30th, inclusive, at any time by signing into your 1099 e-file service account. Once you're signed in, select View Past Forms. Can I print 1099s? Yes, you can. Read this article on how to print 1099s. Pro Advisor Tip. For more information, read this article on creating and filing 1099s in QuickBooks Online. Summing up. Learning outcomes. Well done. In this lesson, we covered preparing and filing forms 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC in QuickBooks Online. Knowledge recap. You can now help clients prepare and file forms 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC so they can report any necessary payments to the IRS. Next steps. In the next lesson, we'll cover using the Prep for Taxes tool.